I ruined the best date of my life. Hi, I'm Steph, and for a while I had the best boyfriend ever. His name was Mike, and he was always doing thoughtful things for me. He complimented me not just on my looks, but on how smart I was, how funny, how talented. He came to all my track meets to cheer me on. He watched all my favorite movies. He made me dinner, sent me flowers and chocolates, and left cards in my locker about how wonderful I was. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Mike was handsome, his family was rich, and he was a genuinely nice guy. How often did a girl land a guy like that? Sometimes I got a little uncomfortable with the amount of money he spent on me, but he said he could afford it and loved doing nice things for me. I was in heaven. We'd only been dating a few months, so there were still some things we didn't know about each other. I'd been putting off telling him I have epilepsy. It's pretty well controlled with medication, but it's not exactly sexy to tell someone that you occasionally have fits where you get confused and your limbs jerk uncontrollably. There just never seemed to be a good time to bring it up. So I just kept praying I'd never have a fit in front of Mike and continued to enjoy having the best boyfriend ever. One day, I had a bad fit at home. I remained unconscious for so long that my mom had to take me to the hospital. When I woke up, I had a bunch of missed calls and texts from Mike. He was so worried about me. I texted him back that I was fine, that I'd just fallen asleep with my phone off. One night, Mike said he wanted to take me on a date. I thought we were just going to dinner, but no, he was taking me out on his family's yacht. We went for a moonlight cruise around the bay. The yacht had been decorated to perfection with twinkling lights and bouquets of flowers. The staff served us a 4-course meal, and a live band played while we danced on the deck. The band even serenaded me with our song. It was the best night of my life. Once again, I couldn't believe my luck. Most high school guys were jerks, but somehow I'd found the one guy who wasn't. As we stood at the rail and gazed out at the water, Mike told me how special I was to him, how he felt like the luckiest guy in the world to have met me. I told him I felt the same. Then he pulled out a box and there was a ring inside. He told me it was a promise ring, that he wanted me to wear it until we were a little older and then he'd buy me an engagement ring. I said yes. Of course I did. He was perfect, and so was this night. I couldn't stop staring at the ring. I also felt a little guilty, like he'd done all this for me, but I was still keeping a secret from him. I realized it was time to tell Mike about my condition. If we were going to get married someday, he needed to know, and I didn't want him to be in that position of worrying about me again. So I told him that I'd been in the hospital for an epileptic fit the other day. He looked confused. Like a seizure? I explained about epilepsy and the different symptoms you could have, how I'd had it since childhood but managed it with medication. I said I hadn't told him because I preferred for people to see me as me, not that girl with epilepsy, but that I wanted to share everything about my life with him. He said he was glad I was okay, but he seemed kind of distant after that. We didn't say much as we headed back to shore. I started to get nervous that I'd ruined things between us. I told him what a wonderful night I'd had and how happy I was to be promised to him. He looked at me and said, "I don't think it's going to work out between us." I was shocked. I mean, half an hour ago, he'd given me a ring and promised we'd be together forever. What had changed? I knew what had changed, though. He didn't want to be with someone who had epilepsy. I was devastated, barely holding back my tears as we docked. He handed me some money, saying I should get a cab home. Then he hurried off the boat. I stood there all alone on the deck in my beautiful dress, the twinkling lights all around me, the stars overhead. The yacht bobbed up and down on the water. I could hear the clink of the staff putting plates and glasses away, laughing. It felt like they were laughing at me. I felt so stupid after that. I kept blaming myself, thinking I never should have told Mike. Wishing I'd never had epilepsy in the first place. But then I realized it's not my fault at all. Mike is the one who was a jerk. He talked a big game about loving me and respecting me, but he didn't really respect me at all. If you really respect someone, then you take them for who you are. You don't try to make them into your idea of perfect. I realize now that what really made me lucky was that I'd learned the truth about Mike before things went too far. And the truth is, he's not worth it. I'm wonderful the way I am. Did you like this story? Share your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe.